Thank you, Adam, for your words of Torah and the leadership you bring to JIAS. Whether it is in your role as chair of the advocacy committee, past vice chair of the board of directors, or our board guru on immigration law, this Devar Torah is just one example of the many benefits you bring to our organization. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the JIAS Toronto AGM. You may have noticed that our AGM is taking place in September rather than our usual November date. This change reflects a move to a March 31st year end to align with our government reporting. This year's AGM period is therefore from July 1, 2021 to March 31st, 2022. While most of my remarks tonight will focus on this period, given the impact of the Ukraine war over the past 5.5 months, I will include some insights related to our more recent leadership activities. While many of you have been involved in our recent 100th anniversary celebrations, please note that this period of reporting will be covered off at next year's AGM, so stay tuned. It is a privilege to lead a social service agency that is celebrating its 100th anniversary. JIAS has the proud legacy of elevating, educating, and empowering tens of thousands of immigrants and refugees. For 100 years, we have created this legacy by removing barriers, providing supports, creating awareness, and making connections so that our clients can achieve their dreams, realize their potential, and become self-reliant. As I reflect about the agency's many accomplishments, I am filled with gratitude for and appreciation of the individuals and organizations that helped us both past and in present further our mandate. It is a joy to work with our amazing employees and volunteers who bring their skills, caring, and passion to their work each and every day. I am equally grateful to our stellar board of directors for their guidance and for always being there. A huge thank you to our referral agencies that provide JIAS clients access to extensive services and supports. It is remarkable to have private sector partners that bring to JIAS the resources to pilot and test ideas so that we can continue to innovate, learn, adapt, and evolve. And it is truly an honor to work with our primary funders, the federal and provincial governments, and the United Jewish Appeal of Toronto. Your funding helps us build a stronger Canada and a stronger Jewish community for today and tomorrow. To our many stakeholders, your confidence, trust, support, and kindness inspire and motivate each of us to stretch beyond our imagination and be open to new thinking and possibilities. Thank you. JIAS is the only Jewish social service agency in the country that is solely dedicated to providing settlement services to immigrants and refugees. We are the community leader in our understanding of newcomer needs. In the past 18 months, JIAS has experienced explosive growth in the number of clients we serve, in the staff that we have hired, and in the unprecedented number of volunteers, and in new funding, including significant donations from first-time donors, all of which has strengthened JIAS's position at the forefront of leadership in the immigration sector. Punching above our weight has always been JIAS's norm. Just as we use a holistic approach to address client needs, we take the same 360-degree approach in how we develop and evaluate our programs and services. Last summer, JIAS hired our first manager of data, research, and evaluation. This new role has transformed the way we collect and analyze data, and it also improves the way we work with our many research partners. Here are 3 examples. We are the first settlement agency in Canada to receive a grant from the Ontario Brain Institute to study the impact of trauma-informed care. Our JIAS designed trauma-informed care model on Yazidis, Ukrainians, and Eritreans. A second major research endeavor is our $800,000 IRCC-funded multi-year study being done in conjunction with the University of Toronto to explore anti-racism through the lens of a newcomer. And JIAS has just commenced its 4th project with the Rotman School of Business. This year's student project will be an environmental scan of the changes in the immigration ecosystem. These 3 projects are just one example of our organization's commitment to excellence, innovative research, and making data-informed decisions. Though targeted to JIAS, the findings of the 3 studies will be shared across the settlement sector as best-in-class models for other settlement agencies to learn from and emulate. JIAS has always rallied to support communities in crisis. This year, we juggled 3 crises in addition to our ongoing work: COVID-19, the Afghan file, and growing instability in Ukraine. The Chinese word for crisis is weiji, which is made up of 2 characters. The first means danger, and the second character means opportunity. Our response to these 3 dangers was to lead by sharing our best practices, building new systems and tools, creating new positions, and forging strategic partners. While it often feels that we are building the bridge while we're walking on it, we use these crises to seize opportunities to build the organization's infrastructure, capacity, skills, and networks. A few years ago, JIAS decided that in honor of our upcoming 100th anniversary, JIAS would privately sponsor 100 refugees to mark 100 years. This initiative was going to be the agency's largest annual sponsorship target since the height of the Syrian refugee crisis. The target was a large stretch for the agency as we are thinly resourced in our sponsorship work. There were many conversations about how the goal of 100 refugees would become a reality. When the Taliban took control over Afghanistan in August 2021, our message boxes were bursting. Most were desperate pleas from Afghans wanting JIAS to sponsor their family. And the remaining calls, they were from volunteers and donors in the Jewish community reaching out to see how they could help. At the same time, JIAS's expertise was being sought after by national and international organizations with mandates to protect vulnerable populations, including refugees. JIAS was the trusted advisor to organizations such as the Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, 30 Birds, Operation Abraham, the Shapiro Foundation, and IsraAid. As a reminder, our original plan was to sponsor 100 refugees for our 100th anniversary. This was already an unprecedented undertaking. Seeing what was happening in Afghanistan, we knew that this goal would need to be stretched exponentially. Today, I can announce that JIAS has sponsored 205 Afghan refugees, and we anticipate this number to grow. We know that each refugee sponsored that comes to Canada is a life saved. Over the past few weeks, dozens of the 205 refugees from the Marifet School have started to arrive in Canada. Their sponsorship funds were raised by the 30 Birds Foundation. Thank you to the 30 Birds Foundation and to all the actors in the background that made this miracle happen. The arrival, as I said, of these young women was nothing short of a modern day miracle. It requires organizations who have never worked together before to trust each other, work quickly and professionally within a closing window of time to get the girls to Canada safely. However, for us to make this happen required seed funding from a donor who had the vision, commitment, and humanity to understand this need and respond, and to help JIAS bolster its sponsorship activities. Thank you to Michael and Nancy Goldberg for continuously ensuring that we have the funding to support our refugee goals. You are always the first ones to call and ask me, what do you need? This allows us to do work that other settlement agencies cannot. With the start of the war in Ukraine, and with over 200,000 Ukrainian Jews now potentially displaced, JIAS shifted its efforts back to its roots. Once again, we are welcoming, supporting, and integrating Jewish Ukrainians just as we did when we were founded 100 years ago. The only difference is today we are also supporting non-Jewish Ukrainians. At the onset of the war in Ukraine, JIAS piloted a pre-arrival intake model so we could better understand, anticipate, and support Ukrainian needs before they came to Canada. This data informed our strategies, including our new partnerships with Airbnb, Jewish social service agencies across the country, the Canadian Ukraine Immigrant Aid Society, and the Child Welfare Immigration Center of Excellence. The JIAS Crisis Response Plan positioned the agency to proactively meet clients' needs and provide tools, information, and resources to other agencies across the country. Our bi-monthly JIAS update newsletter that started at the onset of the Ukraine crisis is now a go-to resource for information and thought leadership. Our Ukrainian clients often describe JIAS as their hope. Hope for their future, hope for their family, hope for a good life in Canada. Hope is a powerful force. It is something we see every day with our clients as we propel them forward so they can rebuild their lives and social and economic networks in their new country, Canada. This feeling is a common thread amongst our refugee and immigrant clients, whether they come from Eritrea, Iraq, Turkey, Israel, Hungary, or the United States. Donors such as the Prossermans have ensured that we remain in the business of providing hope and new futures. Thank you. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel coined the term radical amazement to express the idea that we should wake up each day and be amazed by the wonder, awe, and miracles around us. The idea is to be intentional about how we see and experience our surroundings. I am so proud that JIAS is an ecosystem where everyone who enters our doors witnesses radical amazement each and every day. Thank you.